at this time, and as always, a delight having to speak with you anytime we get to have conversation as far as Nigeria is concerned. And welcome about at this time, Coach Adedeji Adeyemi, Switzerland-based manager who joins me here in the interview room on the Area Success Sport Show, the voice of Tyrone Majex at this time. Coach, we've spoken for a long while, and in that period, a lot has happened. The Super Eagles of Nigeria reached the final of the African Cup of Nations. Jose Purcell got relieved of his duties, and of course, we had to play international qualifiers, FIFA World Cup qualifiers, and from friendlies as well. Coach Finidi George was also appointed as the coach of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. A whole lot has happened since the last time we spoke, and in fact, quite a lot, and plenty are still happening as far as Nigerian football is concerned, especially as it concerns the Super Eagles of Nigeria. You know what has happened. We have not began well on the front foot regarding the qualifiers for the FIFA World Cup, and now Coach Finidi George is on the hot seat. And I'm sure if you've been following, the NFF have made a decision as regards the future of Coach Finidi George, where it's going to be assisted, according to reports, by a technical expatriate, by a foreign technical expatriate. That is the exact destination of who we do not know yet. All right. So, Coach, talk to us. What do you make of all of this, from the appointment of Coach Finidi George to how NFF has handled the management of the Super Eagles of Nigeria and the appointment and all of that? We're also going to talk about player discipline and even looking at the game as well, and also the chances of the Super Eagles of Nigeria qualifying for the FIFA World Cup. So, Coach, I think it's a good place to start.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Mr. Majek. And it's good to be once again here in Brilla FM. Greetings to everyone in the studio and those who listen, and to the fans and to all patriotic Nigerians that is going to listen to the interview. To be honest with you, first and foremost, what I want every one of us to understand in life, that whatever you are doing, be careful of your decision making, because decision making can build a man or it destroy a man. Decision making can build you positively. It can also destroy you negatively, because it has its advantage and disadvantage. I remember when everyone is clamoring for Finidi George, even before the appointment, I said in one sports platform, which is Sports World, I said Finidi George is not ripe enough to be a head coach. If I'm in his shoes, I will be in his assistant. I will remain as an assistant as a Super Eagles coach to develop myself more, no matter the indigenous coach is going to bring or the foreign coach are going to bring. I will not apply for the head coach. I said that there, and many people was just like, okay, everybody, I have opportunity come from but once. I make them to understand there's some opportunity that will repeat itself again and again. It doesn't mean that because it comes once, it will not come again. So for me, I would say first and foremost, the mistake has come from Finidi George for accepting that role to play as a head coach of the Super Eagles. That is the first thing. Second thing I want to also look into is, you see, don't allow people to push you to do what you don't want to do. Be yourself, be a man for yourself to take decision, because the moment you allow people to push you to do what you want to do, sometimes those who push you when it's happened, they will be the one they will laugh at you, because at the end of the day, you think they are helping you. You won't know that they are bringing you down. In the end of the day, look at what happened to Coach Finidi yet right now. We can see all his inputs in the national team. We also know how what people are glamoring that he has won with a Yimba. I said winning with a Yimba is not enough, because that is his first trophy in his life, in his lifetime as a coach, as a head coach. And what is his experience? How many years experience does he has as a coach? So for him to lead the Super Eagles, there are things you have to look into as a coach yourself, as a person, that you have an ambition, yes, but you have to know your limit of ambition. You have to know what your capacity is able to occupy, not the one that somebody want to impose on you. So that is one thing where definitely make it fail it. I also make them to understand that the 20 months he was there with Super Eagles is not enough. He can be there 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. It doesn't mean that you don't know what you are doing until you are matured enough to be a leader. Because a leader take all the responsibility. I have to tell you something. one thing we have to also look into is what Finidi need right now. You can see all the interview he did in Villa FM, another station, a TV station and radio station. You can see how people castigate him through his word because many people have different meaning for different words. So now, what I will advise Finidi George to do, if he thinks he can be able to take that role as an assistant, let him take it. If he cannot take it, he can step down because he will just needs to go back and develop himself, find a way to improve himself, his knowledge in the coaching job as a head coach. As an assistant coach is enough, it's good to go. But as a head coach, you have to go and improve his developmental system, and you also have to go and learn how to perform better as a head coach, to have a team management. Because I remember I said it also that he lacked a team management, and that team management affected him now in this Super Eagles job. Because after the match against Ghana and Mali, you can see that Finidi George team management was not good enough because many players were not was not happy. He don't know how to handle the big boys.
Good to hear from your take there. In all of this, don't you think that Finidi George is a victim here? A victim of what? Perhaps I'll put it forward, which is the NFF and their incompetency at the hierarchy and whatever it is you want to, whoever is making the decisions, football decisions for Nigeria, as it were. Of course, the big question to ask the NFF, and I think perhaps we want to put in here, is what did they see in Finidi George to appoint him? That is one question to also ask. Because don't you think that Finidi George could also be a victim of poor leadership from the Nigeria Football Federation?
That is why I said, so first important thing is you yourself, you have to know your capacity. You cannot bring a bowl of a bucket on the floor, and you have a bucket of 5 liter, and you want to pour water of 50 liter into it. It will not work. You have to know your capacity as a coach, that am I ripe enough to undo what they are pushing me to do? That is why I said the best thing you have to do this moment, you have to take a phone call. Those Godfather that is pushing him to go and be the head coach, he should tell them, say, I love to be head coach, but I'm not ready for it. So for me, I don't think it's a victim because if
you allow me to put in, Coach, if you allow me to put in here, yes, you have established that Finidi George was enticed by the clause of the Super Eagles. Who wouldn't? I mean, who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? Because anyone who wants to take the Super Eagles job, as well, whether they are ready or not, it happens. That is a talk for another day. But as far as the NFF is concerned, don't you think that they are responsible for putting us in this kind of situation? So what blame do you think the NFF should take?
See, let me tell you, they say you can force the horse to the river, but you cannot force the horse to drink water. For me, I think I cannot so much blame the NFF. Right? There's a reason. The reason is because they look within. They think that Finidi has been parcel of that team. Is an insider. He knows the team very well. He knows how Pesero works. So they felt that he has learned from Pesero. So it is better to take him than to take somebody else. I also said in an interview on Apple Sport, I said Finidi George is not the best indigenous coach, both home and abroad. But him taking this job is going to backfire, and he should be ready to dance to the music of the fans. And that's exactly what is happening right now. The NFA see him as a leader. The NFA saw his previous achievement with Eyimba. They thought he's matured enough to handle the Super Eagles because he's an insider. That is why I could not blame the NFF. They just want to give a trial to somebody. Since Nigeria is clamoring for indigenous coach, they thought this is the best person to do this job. But you yourself have to see your capacity. You have to know your ability to deliver. What are you lacking as a coach? You know that this thing is bigger than me. Why can't you say no? It's not a force for someone to be an head coach. So if I say I should blame the NFF, what I can only say I blame the NFF for is because the delay of announcing the national team coach, that is where the only way I can see the fault of NFF. But appointing Finidi George with the technical committee, I don't think the NFF has a blame in this, because the player himself, the coach himself, supposed to know that. Look at the assistant coach they gave to him, SN in America, that's coaching under 19. He rejected the job because he knows that it's bigger than that offer. You have to have your dignity. Your pedigree is supposed to be at stake whenever you are taking decision. Look at Amuneke. They put him also as an assistant coach. Amuneke rejected it because Amuneke said in your studio in Villa FM, he said, no. There is a height someone will be at in life that will never want to go down. I am a head coach. I am not an assistant. I will not do this. And he has done it under Roy. Amuneke rejected it. Under Pesero, before they took Finidi, Amuneke rejected it. So you should know what you want. If you don't know what you want, people will be pushing you like a wind. doing throw and throw. So the fault is not from NFF. The fault is from the person himself that take the position of leadership.
All right, Coach, I think I want to put in here, all right? Because you insist that it is not the fault of the NFF. I'm sure you must be aware that after that game, they lost to Benin Republic, the sport minister summoned the NFF, the president and the executive committee and the technical department, asking them to present a report on why the Super Eagles have not been performing well in these World Cup qualifiers. At the end of the day, don't you think that the technical department of the NFF, when it comes to making decisions, when it comes to properly vetting a manager, don't you think they also have a blame? I would also ask as well on what you make of that in terms of for them to identify Coach Finidi George. Are we to say that the vetting process, can't we say that as far as the vetting process is concerned, the technical committee, the NFF, and everyone involved in appointing and screening all of those who applied for the job are culpable in this case? Don't you think that they also have a share of the blame? Would you say that there is some sort of incompetency when it comes to vetting managers? Yes, Finidi George, like you said, has been in the scope, and you think that was what informed the decision of the NFF to appoint him because he's been Poseo, he's been with the team and all of that. That's the argument and reasons some other people have given as well. But what do we say about the quality of vetting in the technical department of the NFF? Don't you think that they also have a fault in all of this?
Yeah, if we have to fault them, we know that if they want to follow experience-wise, if they want to follow how your experience in coaching job, how long you have been in the job, how what of your achievements, your pedigree as a coach, not as a player, because the committee they saw him as a player more, they saw his achievement. I can listen to one of the about the board member who went to the who went to TV station and said he has coached, he has played under Louis Van Gaal, he has coached, he has played under CBB top manager. He's going to bring the system of IAS to our national team, the way the good football they used to play there. Yes, you can also give that side as a blame to them, but don't forget, as I said before, I want to quote and unquote again. Don't forget when they look at situation of the national team. One thing I listened to Ikpeba in Billy FM when he came to Ifeanyi Udozie program. He said something. He said out of all the coaches, the indigenous coaches that submit their CD, the only person they can trust at that moment is Finidi George. He said the reason is because I said the same thing. Finidi is part and parcel of the team. The team they know him, and he has a very fantastic friendly matches against Ghana, and that is where the confusion come from. They thought Finidi has arrived because beating Ghana, they did not look the plus and minus in that game. They only look at the results. They saw 2-1. I said in the Afro Sport and the Jordan 105 FM radio station, I said Finidi was lucky to beat Ghana. Ghana dominated the match with one player down. I see Finidi lack tactical and technical input. I saw the way they play. We only play for the first 20-30 minutes when we dominated, we score our goals. That is the end of the party in that match against Ghana. Then I said against Mali, Mali exposed us. It shows the ability, it shows the capacity, it shows the idea, the playing philosophy of Finidi George, that Finidi does not believe in tactical football. He believed only in the result, and the result did not go his way against Mali. This is a red flag, but those people see only Ghana as a green flag and refuse to see the red flag, and the red flag they refuse to see is pain. That is the result you are seeing today. That is exactly what is happening right now in the national team. So you could not blame the NFF committee too much, because that match against Ghana is a big rival game. They thought if you can beat Ghana, if Finidi George can play that 2-friendly match, out of 6 points, he got 3. Win 1 and lose 1. Then they think, okay, if he can do that against Ghana, he can do it again against the big boys, or that big boys in African country. But they forgot that when you are watching match, you have to analyze the match, the ability of the coach. If with the ball, without the ball, the way they move the dynamic way, you will see it with you, if you are a good reader of the game, you see the ability of that coach. But those who are in decision making, they don't see that. They only goes with the crowd. When the crowd say Finidi George is good, he has won Ghana, wow, they follow the beats of the fans outside, out the media. They follow the beat of the media, and they decided to come on that result that they want Finidi George. But I said one thing, I still repeat that word. Finidi George is not the best local coach, indigenous coach, both home and abroad. Winning for Enyimba, winning the league is not enough. We have a lot of coaches who have won 2-3 league in this in the past, but they never give them this opportunity. Why Finidi's own is
All right.
exception? So that is my question.
Oh, well, interesting question there. The executive committee of the NFF met on Wednesday, and that meeting lasted for 3 hours. At the end of that meeting, they came to some resolutions. They apologized to Nigerians for the dismal output of the Super Eagles and their performance. And in order for the Super Eagles to get back on track again, they have resolved to employ an expatriate technical advisor for the Super Eagles in the coming weeks. Also, the executive committee resolved in that meeting to beef up the technical department with more qualitative hands. These are interesting resolutions. So the big question is it until when Finidi George faltered that they now saw the need to have a holistic view on the technical department of the NFF, as it were? Do you think that perhaps it's a blessing in disguise that, yes, or it also exposed the appointment of Finidi George, also exposed the technical department, those are the hierarchy of the NFF as well? Because looking at the solution, it's also an indictment on them as well, because they are saying, look, we have not done some things right, and it is time for us to now start putting some things right. How do you react to that?
My brother, Mr. Majek, thank you for this great question. That is one of the questions I was expecting you to ask me. You see, in life, we learn to unlearn to relearn. Any man that failed to relearn after unlearning, that man is not worthy to be a leader. I remember I told the leadership of our Nigerian Football Federation, I said in a group chat and also private chatting, I said, sir, pray for decision making, because decision making in life is a very vital key. Don't just rush, don't follow the crowd, but prayer and dedication can lead you to the right decision. See, what they are going back to now, it is not the solution, to be honest with you. Why I said so, let's say, if you want to take Finidi, you want to take him away from the head coach, we still have a decision coach who can do better. Because in previous years, I can remember back when we were young, when we were growing up, I remember how we went from local coach to foreign coach. The foreign coach could not take us to World Cup. So some of them went to World Cup. They disgraced us in the first round in the World Cup. So we have seen those situations before, that they bring in a foreign coach and the foreign coach could not even do, because we should not bring, there's no difference between the foreign coach and the local coach, they sack. Well, we have also seen local indigenous coach that took from foreign coach and they do better. We have also seen indigenous coach that took from other indigenous coach, they came inside and qualified to World Cup. Moju Shabu is one of them, which I can remember. May God keep blessing his soul. So one thing I want us to understand right now telling Finidi down to step down for another foreign coach, the foreign coach can come at the same time may not do better than Finidi George. So what I will advise the Nigerian Football Federation again is that before they announce that coach, they should sit down and think of what they really want, because decision making may destroy a Nigerian national team again. Because right now, I said in the Afro Sport, people was angry with me. They said I'm too brutal. I said they should remember in AFCON, we play negative football. We lost three important men that we know that are well known in Nigeria. What about those we don't know? Now this too much again that we got 1 point out of 7 points. We have some people that are depressed right now that we could not get themselves. Even maybe some people die who don't even know them, that has no name. So please and please and please, they should think twice. The technical committee, also the NFL president, you should think twice. You should not allow the previous past president or anybody who has been in the position before to tell him what to do. He should think it before he do, out of divorce. Think deeply before you do, because for me, I am not in support again for another foreign coach. I would prefer if they can go back and look for any individual coach that have done it before. Let them give them the chance to do it again, because the next match is in September. We still have 3 months before then for us to play. Then we can sit down. They should not rush to announce it to person, they should look inward before thinking of outside. And if they are going to bring a foreign coach, it is a good idea. Then they must bring a grade A coach and ready to pay that grade A coach whatever he demand for. If they are going to bring a local coach from Czech Republic, Yugoslavia, Bolivia, all these Sloviana, please, they should not bring any foreign coach to Nigerian national team. The better they use an additional coach who has the capacity, who has the ability to deliver, who has the know-how and technically is sound. Give that kind of person the job. That is my own submission on that. And technical committee, please don't. We should not be biased. Don't think about what someone has done at the past that does not suit them. We should not be holding people grudges that because somebody speak the truth, then you will go against you will not give him the job. Or because somebody did one thing to wrong to you, and you know the person has the technical know-how to deliver, you will not give the job to him because of this. This is one of those things that is killing our Nigerian football. We hold grudges. We hold people for their word. We forgot that what you want from that person, if that thing is going to bring you to the top or bring your name to the best, why not take that kind of person to handle the national team? Please, Nigeria is for all of us. It's not for one person. So those are the taking decision. Please, they should be mindful before they take any step, before they take any decision that will destroy the Nigerian football again more than what it used to be now. That is my take on that.
All right. I'll to wrap up. An interesting aspect of the communique that was issued by the communique of the meeting of the NFL Executive Committee was highlighted the attitude of some players in the Super Eagles, and that sets that then brings us to a point where we start beginning to ask questions as well. When it comes to calling up players to the national team, what should we be looking at in a sense? And then I've also been saw from that meeting that they now have to spread their tentacles when it comes to scouting for eligible Nigerian players from different parts of the world that are ready and willing to play for the Super Eagles, as it were. Would you say that these players that we've got, have they shown enough commitment in a sense? Would you also say that there is need to address disciplinary issue well as far as the Super Eagles setup is concerned? Because you want to look at what happened in the build up to the qualifiers, preparation, players going to camp late, and all of that. Would you say that these players also have to take accountability and also a share of the blame for where we are now in the qualifiers?
You don't give what you don't have. What I want to do right now is just like I'm giving tip, which I don't like. I've decided not to do that anymore. But journalists just keep telling me the more you are outspoken, the more you teach some coaches, that is the more they know your technical know-how. Tony, please keep doing it. Coach Adedeji, keep doing it. I've said I would not want to do this anymore. But let me go it once again. I will just say it once again. Then I think I will not go into this because it's like I'm giving my knowledge to somebody who does not know have the know-how and is occupying the position that belongs to somebody like us in the national team. So what happened is this: you don't blame players for their indiscipline. You don't blame players for their delay to come to national team. You don't blame players for their attitude in and out of the field. You blame the person that is the leader, who is the coach. That's why I said, as a coach, there is two different things to be a coach. There is another thing to be a team manager. See, man management is a very key in every group, no matter other football, otherwise, or any group you find yourself. Man management, you should have the ability to manage a player one-to-one, and team management is other key. In every group, in every football team, you have some players that has a bad attitude. They have some players who are not a good listener when you are talking when you bring them together in the field of play to tell them to pass instruction. Even when you are in your locker room, there's a players that will be touching their leg when you are talking. Who does not have the discipline that you decided you need to have. So that is the job of the leader, who is the coach. You have to have a playing philosophy. You have to have a team guide that guide all the team. If you come late, this is how much you pay. If you are doing this attitude in training, this is how much you're going to pay. If you're not a good listener, if I see that you do it one time, two times, you have this amount, this is the consequence. If you are not disciplined, if you as a coach is not disciplined, okay, everybody have to be in the field 10 minutes before training start. If somebody come 2 minutes, no matter the excuse, the person is going to pay. Everybody will sit up. If you are coming to the field of play training, I don't want to see any telephone on this in the field of play, in the pitch. A day to match, the first day you came, everybody can use your telephone just to give them freedom for them to be a little bit happy. After you start your training program, from the next day, third day, then you say, okay, 3 days to match. I don't want to see any telephone in the field of play. You can only use telephone when you are in your room. I don't want to see any post in the internet for the next 3 days before the match. If I see anybody put any post in the internet 3 days before the match, if I take control, you are going to pay $100, you are going to pay $20, you're going to pay this. It in hotel, you have to say anybody that is not in the room or the reception from this time to this time. Discipline starts from the coach. And when you say it, you mean it. You draw a line between you and the players. You make them know that locker room and the field of play is a place of war. That locker room is a place for concentration. That locker room is a place for communication. That locker room is a place for discipline. That's what locker room is a place for focus. So when you put all these things and you tell them in the field of play, I need more focus, you will see that the players, they will do it automatically. If there is time for freedom, there is time for playing in the field of play, there is time to have fun, there is time to be disciplined. So if coach does not have this idea, if coach does not have this team guard that guide all the players, everyone, definitely that's what you saw with the boys is what you are going to see. But coming late is not. Sometimes you don't put the fault on the player. Sometimes some player plays the weekend on Saturday, they have to get rest and fly on Monday. So that thing can cause some players to come a little bit a day later or 2 days later. That is not a problem in national team. But what is important is the players have to give his plan travel schedule. Every player have to send their planning schedule to you as a coach. You see when they are going to arrive. You're going to see what they are going to deliver, the part. Then you can be able to also ask them, why do you decide to come this day? All these things, there must be a genuine communication between the coach and this. So another last thing I'm going to drop here because I call it before I stop is, if you are a coach, you have not ability to study your players' character, your player character, how they behave. Some players like to have fun, talk too much. Some players lost concentration. Some players, when they believe they are bigger than the other players. When you have all these kind of players in your team, that is time you have to use your team management and man management. The player you see that destruct your training all the time or try to bring other players out of the concentration, you take them to your locker room. Talk to him one-on-one. If you see that he continue doing it, tell him to pay the fan. After paying the fan, you can also drop him in the next national team call or put him on the bench on that match day. Let him learn from his mistake. When you are hard on them in some kind of way, that is where the discipline comes from. They will know that he does not tolerate nonsense as a coach, as a leader. So that is one thing that the coaches have to understand. When coaches don't have this, no matter the player you have, even being a young player or a mature player or a grade A player, there will be a lot of indiscipline. But discipline comes from the coach, not from the player.
All right. Coach, thank you very much for your insight as always. Quickly, do you think the Super Eagles of Nigeria can turn things around? Our next 6 games, can we win them all and put ourselves in a situation where we can qualify for the World Cup?
No, let's be honest to ourselves, because most Nigerians don't like the truth. You cannot win the 6 matches. It's not possible. Why I said so is this: there's some matches you're going to flop on along the line. See, what we can only say now is that if you can get a good coach and a genius coach or a grade 1-8 coach, they will only try their best to make sure that we win all matches. But it is going to be a difficult time. In football, nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible, but at the same time, with this what is happening right now in the mentality of the player and the result, the position we are today, there will be a lot of nervous that will even make you to lose concentration, because now you know that you have to win 6 matches. You are putting pressure on those boys. You don't have to tell them to think about the 6 match. Take every match accordingly, and it depends on the coach that is coming in to come and do the job. But if Finidi just is going to continue that job with this attitude, Finidi himself has even lost self-confidence for himself because of the pressure he received from the media and from the fans. So I think we can qualify if we have the right material and the right personnel to lead the team.
All right. Thank you very much, Coach Adedeji Adeyemi, for speaking with us at this time. It's always a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you so much for bringing me on here. Billy FM, I really appreciate your inputs in my career. May God bless all of us and have a wonderful weekend ahead.
All right, thank you, sir.
You're welcome, sir.